Hello everybody, we're back in the shop today, and we just finished up some priming on that CJ3A project, so can't do much on that right now. I got the frame in epoxy primer, our leaf springs came in, and got the wheels in primer, so we're taking a little break while everything's wet, and we're working on this CJ3B welder Jeep body. And today we're going to put that rear floor cross sill in, and then we're going to make the tailgates around. So this has got holes in it like we spot welded the side panels to the floor. If you watched the last video on this particular project, you saw how we did that. We're just going to do the same thing here. We're going to get the tail light panel and side panel and wheelhouse and everything square to the floor and get everything welded in, and then we'll get on to making the tailgates around. So that's where we're at today, and I'll be right back with you and show you what we're doing with that tailgate surround. We're going to bend that up and make some notches or a cutout to go around the center there, and we're going to get that done today. Okay, we'll be right back with you. Okay, there's our plug welds again on the rear cross sill, and when you're doing a horizontal surface, sometimes they could want to sag on you, or sometimes they'll get away from you, but you still want to try and keep a nice flat profile like when you're doing it in the flat position. And I set the machine a little bit hotter, and I make a little bit smaller hole, and pull the trigger and get the spot weld in there and get out before you heat it up too much and has a chance to sag on you. You want to get them nice and flat. Now we're just going to work over those with a little flap wheel, get everything nice and flat and smooth, and then we'll come in and we'll make our the bottom piece of the tailgate surround. We'll go right over that, so we want that nice and smooth. We'll get some weldable primer on there, and then we'll start bending up that tailgate surround. Okay, there's our blank of steel as it came off the shear. And here's another piece with our first bend in it. And this is going to go up the left and the right side. And if I was doing a bunch of these, I'd set up the press brake and with the back gauge and just bang out a bunch of them. But I'm just going to do these in the hand brake. Just going to do it in our 8-foot brake here. So we'll just put it in, mark our distance off, and pull the bend, and then we'll cut the 45 and put our holes in there for plug welding it once it's out of the brake. So we'll get the two sides done, we'll get the 45s cut, and then we'll fit the underside piece. We got to make a cutout in that, so we'll get these done and then we'll move on to the bottom piece. Okay, now you can see we've got those laid out, the left and the right side, for our angle cut. And we're going to make that angle cut on the bandsaw and then just give it a little tune up on the disc sander. So, you remember our big bandsaw here. We're just going to run that through there and get the angle cut on it. Okay, now there's our left side of the tailgate surround. We've got that fit just right, and when we come to the top we leave it just a hair below that, and that whole area right around there gets welded. So now we'll take this and we'll punch some holes in it, and we'll put some weldable primer on it, and this section down in here is going to get stitch welded on, and there'll be holes on the big flat side here. There'll be holes in here, and we'll plug weld it through there. So we'll get these in weldable primer, and then we'll start working on that bottom cross piece. Okay, here's our bottom piece bent up with the angles cut on it, and we've got it laying on the bandsaw here. I think you can see that red line. That's going to be our cutout that has to go around the rear floor cross sill. So we're going to go over to the Rotex, and we're going to punch this corner out so we get a nice radius there, and we'll make a couple straight cuts. We'll come in with the bandsaw this way and then across, and we'll radius out this corner here. But we're going to head over to the Rotex now and put those corners in with a punch. Okay, we just got the piece off our Rotex punch, and we put 2 holes in it, and that makes a very nice radius in the corner. Now we could come in straight, and then straight down the other side, and then tune that up with a file, and we'll have a nice radius in the corners with those punch holes. So that's a 1 1/4 inch hole. And I guess if you had to, you could put it in with a hole saw or a hole cutter of some sort if you wanted to. But it makes for a nice corner. And we're going to finish cutting that out now and test fit it. And then we'll pop some holes in it and get some weldable primer on it. Okay, there's our surround. Just kind of lightly clamped in place there. We've got the bottom cut out. And I think you can see it. You leave a little bit of reveal around there. And then in this area here, you just kind of square that line down. Just keep continuing it down, and just nip the corner of that off to square it up, and then that seam will get welded. So we're going to square up the corner of the bottom piece, put some holes in it and some primer, and come back and plug weld this whole thing in. Okay guys, we've got the entire surround on the back of the Jeep here, and we've got a bunch of clamps on the bottom and one on the side, and this is your last chance to get this square now. So we checked it, and I got that long bar clamp going across there because we were out just a little bit on both sides. Perfectly square now. This joint here is 90 degrees, and we're 90 degrees there, and we know we're good now. And like I say, double check it, triple check it, because it's the very last time you're going to have to get your wheelhouses and your side panels square to the floor. So once you have it square, you got everything clamped, time to start welding. So we're going to get this welded in now. Okay guys, here it is, plug welded in. And anytime you're working with weldable primer and trying to get things welded together, sometimes it could be a little bit of a disaster. It's tough on the nozzles and stuff. So keep a bunch of nozzles handy, a bunch of tips handy, and when you need to, just change them out. You're going to get a lot of you know, molten metal blowing back, and things really go to hell when you're going through that weldable primer. But keep changing the nozzles out and stay in there, and you know, just try and work at it the best you can, and you'll get some penetration, and you know, they won't be the prettiest weld you've ever done. If you were used to just welding on clean metal, welding with weldable primer is a bear. But We've double and triple checked our square, and we still got 90 degrees there and 90 degrees on the other side. Now we're going to go after the corners there. Let me see if I can. Okay, we're going to go right in there and run a bead there, and that's gonna lock that 90 degrees in. Like I say, this is the very last time you have to change this, so make sure you got it right. And we'll get the other side done, and then we'll grind everything out smooth and stuff, and get rid of some of all those boogers there. You know, it's like I say, it's not pretty putting the welds in through the weldable primer, but let's get set up and weld those 45s now. Okay guys, we're trying out some new settings on the camera to try and get some decent welding shots. That last one was not too bad, but kind of blew out on me at the end there. We're going to try and weld this top. We've got some weldable primer in there, so it might be kind of jumpy and stuff, but we're just trying to set the camera and make sure we can get some decent arc shots for future videos. So just hang in there. We're trying to get better at this, and let's see, I'm gonna have to shut the camera and then start it again in the welding mode, but we're gonna go after that top there and run a small bead around the top, and we'll see how that comes out. Okay, we're trying to zero in on our settings. That wasn't terrible. And because of that weldable primer, you saw all those little balls of fire jumping off there and stuff. It's not like clean metal, but again, we're just trying to get the camera settings right for decent arc shots. I think we're getting closer. So we're going to do some welding on the other side, and then get everything kind of ground out and stuff, and we're still going to play around with the camera, see if we can get a little bit better on the welding videos. But next time you see it, this will all be ground smooth, and I'm making some progress on getting that welder Jeep out of the other barn there. I cleared some space today, and it won't be long before we start and we're able to drag that out of there. So the weather's been kind of warm, but it's kind of a mud pit out there. But if it stays warm like this, I got to move a few more things. We'll get that welder Jeep out, get the body torn down, and get the cowl separated from the rest of it, and start to fit the front of this together. So that's what's coming next, and let me know what you think. If you like the video, hit the like button, or maybe hit the subscribe, and send me a comment if there's anything you want to see. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.